Hopefully, we are back with all the tech issues resolved. Hopefully, I'll be able to see the chat. I'll be able to see the viewers. We'll be able to talk about the Chinese spy that was caught being a mayor in Arcadia. It'll be fun. It'll be great. That's great. It starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes, and aeroplane. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane. Listen to yourself turn. World serves its own needs. Don't disturb your own needs. That's a fucking song and a half, man. That's a song and a half is all I gotta say. I haven't listened to that song in a long while, and I was just reading the lyrics, and man, I cannot believe human beings conceived of the lyrics of that song. It defies my belief and imagination that human beings came up with that. Oh man, what a day! What a day! What a Monday afternoon it's been. Full of love and fun and tunes it's been. There's no one in the chat to send. There's somebody. What's up? Hi! I love that little hi that it does. The little. Not you again. It's me again. Fury, I'm not even mad. I'm happy. I'm excited. Knock on wood, the technical issues are doing fine. Hi, femboy. I'm not a femboy. I'm a trans woman. Donald Trump is God and is saving us all. Nice bait, mate. I rate 8 out of 8. What's your purpose of live streaming? To, like, fucking provide a facsimile, I guess, of a place where you can have conversation. You know, the high minded idea is that we provide the unique opportunity for people to present their political, religious, philosophical, and current events opinions in a forum that's not necessarily like hostile to any particular viewpoint, but that does have a viewpoint of its own, which is not something you find altogether too often. Most of the time, whenever people try to have like that open dialogue kind of thing, they're trying to act like they don't have an agenda, and they do. But I'm open about my agenda. I'm, pretty openly leftist, pretty openly pro worker, and pretty openly anarcho-syndicalist even. So I feel like it's kind of a unique opportunity for people to get and like to get a touch on what someone with pretty unique political opinions in America feels like and thinks like. Because I feel like there's a lot of propaganda in modern American media about what someone that thinks like me looks, sounds, and acts like. But ultimately, I think a lot of it is just meant to get people's hackles up and make them annoyed and angry at the world. But really, when you get to know me, what you realize is that I'm a human being just like you. that I've got things that I want to do in the future and things I'm glad I've done in the past and a family and fucking all the other things that make life worth living. Don't mean to be mean, but do you ever wash that vest? I mean, not that often, no. It is a crust fest after all, so crust punks don't tend to wash their things. I do maintain a much higher standard of hygiene than the average crust punk, that's for sure. But my vest, I don't necessarily subject to the same rigors. So I will wash it, but typically only when I happen to be at a laundromat or when I know I'm going to be going to one. I'll bring it along because they've got the washers that just do the twisty turny thing. They don't have the auger. And as a result, they don't have as many moving parts for these things to get caught up in. Is this rage bait? Nope. We could be having a genuine conversation instead of just shit flinging. That's up to you guys to provide. Can y'all not hate on someone just because they were different because they didn't do anything wrong? I mean, yeah, I'm literally just sitting here existing. Like, what have I done so wrong that deserves the vitriol? Like, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me that much. I've got a skin thicker than a northern white rhinoceros. You're not going to get to me, but it does kind of show you how much things have degraded when people feel so, like, totally okay to be as mean and bigoted as they can be in these chats. As they sometimes are, I should say. Stank, you literally have no idea what I smell like. And for your record, I smell great. Decepticons are addicted to attention. This is proof. Imagine being so brain dead and internet addled that you have to use terminology like that to describe your political opponents. Sad. Keep up the good work. I intend on it. What are you smoking off screen? Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? Sorry it shouldn't be asked, but do you like women or women? Did it change when she transitioned? No, I've always been attracted to both men and women. I typically only date women. Because I have not yet found a man that I could tolerate long enough to ever call him a lover. But um, I cannot help but have some sexual attraction to people with male bodies and some cis men. And that I don't think changed when I came out as trans. If anything, I guess I became a little bit more comfortable being like sexual in general. But I'd had several sexual relationships before I came out as trans. I was actually kind of in the middle of a whore phase when I came out, and that continued for the first year after I came out as trans. So I don't think it really changed much. If anything, I guess it just made me more um, like more confident and therefore like better able to find people to like mess around with. I don't support this at all. Who cares? Like genuinely, who asked? Gross as fuck. Why is this shit showing up? Because you watch stuff like this all the time. Look at my title and then compare that title to your watch history, and that'll tell you. It's not crack or meth. The smoke isn't as dense or wide enough. This guy drugs. Cis is just born gender, right? Yes, 100%. Yeah. Cis is like you're born a man and you're comfortable as a man, or you're born a woman and you're comfortable as a woman. That's all it means in that context. Like cis man, cis woman. Like on its own, it just means like same as. I think it's a Latin prefix, I believe. Can people just be men? I mean, like, yeah, but if it comes time to distinguish you from a trans man, they might use the term cisgender man. And I'm sorry. That's just the reality of a world that accepts trans people. And if a little bit of like extra descriptive language is what we need to make that happen, I think it's a small price to pay to make like a decently large chunk of the population, small in terms of percentage, but large in terms of sheer numbers, feel better about themselves and make our society better as a result, both morally and just pragmatically, because it's a happier place. Impeccable drip, my friend. Thank you. The ones that are hating are miserable, and you can tell mommy and daddy were not in their lives. Lame. I know. It's literally like the type of shit that they will say about my life and me is the like exact type of shit you know was going on in their lives. They will say that I am fatherless. They themselves fatherless. They will say that I didn't have like strong enough parents. They themselves having absent parents. People love to look at people that they look down upon and assume that all of the things that they perceive as being wrong with them are mistakes that they made, and presume that all of those mistakes that they made are just lapses from some common understanding that they all share. What they don't understand is that there genuinely are people that think differently than they do, and it's fine. Oh. Oh, I remember you. Yeah. What? Who's the person who just Discorded me? Are you in the chat? The person who just DM'd me on Discord. Make yourself known in the chat so I can remember what your name is. Because I don't want to have to be calling you, is this for real? Oh my fucking god, dude. I don't know why I bothered asking that. Why did I even bother? Like, what was the point? I'm just gonna DM you. There's no way for me to discern who you are. No, okay, I did see that. I did see your messages. I just didn't think that was you because it was like, you know, um, you're in a sea of other comments. There we go. Bro, you're built like a suede couch. Bro, you're so stupid you can't spell suede. Can't be a boy if the name is Phoebe. That's very true. Phoebe would indeed be a very, very weird name for a boy. Perhaps an indication that I'm not a man. There's only two genders, male and female. And nothing makes your case better than typing it in all caps and badly misspelling the word there. I'm telling you, if you're going to defy science and reason, you might want to do it with more cogent language than the language with which you just typed. You can never possible change your gender. Once again, another dumb motherfucker that can barely use the language that they were probably born into, but they want to tell me everything there is to know about sex and gender. I'm sorry, retard, but I don't take your word more seriously than that of the Mayo Clinic. Don't you agree with men on anything? Men aren't a monolith. Men have all kinds of different opinions, attitudes, and takes and perspectives on all kinds of different things. I don't look at men as a monolith. I think that there are some trends that exist among men broadly, but I think that any individual man may choose to rise above any of those. You must have the second busiest chat I've seen yet. Well, I've also got the unique distinction of having. This chat has got the unique distinction of being having been once called the most reprehensible chat on YouTube by good old amazing atheist T.J. Kirk. And if that fine gentleman says that you've got the worst chat on YouTube, you've got the worst chat on YouTube. So welcome, dear viewer, to the worst chat on this platform. Charlie Kirk didn't die a martyr. Charlie Kirk died up there in vain. What is that song? Let me look. Charlie Kirk didn't die a martyr. Charlie Kirk died up there in Maine. Charlie Kirk, the shooter claims he shot him for reasons that the FBI just can't explain. Erica Kirk is weird. I got a verse about that too. Now, when the news had spread around that Charlie Kirk got shot, Erica signed up to be the next purveyor of brain rot. But when a guy named Drewski did a funny little skit, the entirety of MAGA threw an awful fit. Charlie Kirk, he lost his life so bloody. Charlie Kirk, preaching awful hate. Charlie Kirk probably didn't earn it, but that's why we all call it the Epstein fate. Mocking death, but you want to be protected by hate crime laws. Yeah, it's almost as bad as being all morally and righteous about all like moral and righteous about somebody making fun of death, but then wanting to defend hate crimes against them. You know, it's almost as hyperbolic and fucking histrionic as that. Almost, not quite, just a little off. You're balding? Nope, nope. I got a little spot where the hair is pulled back two different ways. And that's as big as it's ever gonna get. Because guess what? Neither of my male ancestors on either side have a bald spot. Yeah, bitch won the genetic lottery. Bro, is Granny Lamau? You must have had a really awesome granny if your grandma was running around in a patch vest with lighter trophies on the neck and sleeves. You must have had a really awesome granny. Making fun of the dead is simply wrong. It's like poking fun at a wheelchair user. Well, it's not a that I mean, like the dude who I'm making fun of didn't hold that moray, so why should I hold it for him? Charlie Kirk had no problem making fun of leftists that died horrible deaths at the behest of right wing figures. Charlie Kirk had no problem trivializing the deaths of children dying in school shootings. He had no respect for the dead. He was willing to use every school shooting that happened as an opportunity to make arguments for the gun lobby. Why exactly should I protect the time fucking like what am I trying to protect here exactly? Like the like noble image of his like memory in passing. That noble image of his memory in passing only exists for those who looked over or liked the things that he said that were totally reprehensible. But if you want an example of how free speech is dying in the United States, just look at how people are responding to me just making a little jokey song about how Charlie Kirk got killed for inauspicious reasons that nobody seems to be able to get to like the bottom of, and how his entire death has been manipulated by the people around him for purposes that he had nothing to do with. Look at how that little jokey song has generated people that are just spewing utter vitriol, people that are defending the concept of hate crimes against me, people that are threatening my life. I mean, it just goes to show you, man, the concept of free speech has been under assault for a long time, and at this point, I think it is well and truly um, being lowered into its grave. I like your jacket, thank you. If I send you money, can you bring back free speech? Not by myself, no, no. And I don't have some political organization that I'm shilling for, so I don't have I don't have anyone else to tell you to go donate to either. I don't know who's on the fucking battlefield for free speech, frankly. At this point, I really don't. I don't know. Afro Man, maybe? But nobody likes Afro Man because he's got untoward opinions about queer people, which a southern black hip hop guy has untoward opinions about queer people. Whoa, news at 11. I don't know. Like, is it wrong of me as a trans woman that I kind of just assumed that about Afro Man and enjoyed his art regardless? Like, I'm sorry. I don't like. He's not out there trying to be a fucking political candidate. He's not out. Like, I guess he was out there fucking. He did some shit with Trump, but he was hardly one of the fucking horsemen of Trump's election. He was not fucking some big part of the campaign. So I don't know. It's like, yeah, I mean, it sucks that he's got those opinions, but I'm also not really surprised by them, I guess. And I kind of think that he might be one of the only people that's kind of fighting a free speech adjacent fight right now and winning. Who's crying when MAGA is on top? MAGA is not on top right now. Trump's approval rating is at like 32%. Less than a third of the country likes the motherfucker. Base trans woman? Thanks. Yeah, nobody's crying. Who's scared of a trans woman? I don't fucking know. Bigoted reactionaries on the right and their propagandized followers, basically. There's no such thing as a trans woman? Sure there is, right here. See? Here I am. Surely you get asked this all the time, but thoughts on Hassan? There could be better advocates, but there could be a hell of a lot worse. I think we need somebody that is approachable to the general, somewhat degenerate, random average American, like young person especially, that might be coming from a pretty edgy, like center right to outright right wing place and looking for a home on the left. I think that Hassan could fit that role the same way Joe Rogan fit that role for the right, for us here on the left. And as a result, I refuse to take part in any of the hate campaigns against Hassan. There are things I don't like about him. There are things that I wonder. I don't really think he abuses his dog, but I've seen some stuff that makes me wonder about it, I guess. And there's enough persistence of the rumor that it makes me feel like, yeah, I don't know. Frankly, from what I've seen, it looks like it really could just be that his dog has some fucking pain issues, but it could also be that he's using a fucking shock collar. There's shock collars that look like the one people have shown me, and there's fucking also ones that people have showed me that are just like beeping collars or ones that vibrate or like yada yada yada. So as far as like the abuse allegations of his dog and all that bullshit, I don't know, man. Like, fucking until some fucking actual proof comes out, I feel like we just kind of have to roll with it because we need good advocates where we can get them. I'm conservative, but I think it's wrong. So many people give you shit just because you're trans. Sorry, you have to deal with that. I mean, I've got quite a few conservatives that listen to my channel and come and participate regularly in these chats that feel like you do and that disagree with me, but that like the dialectic that happens and like the dialogue. And I appreciate that. That's a kind thing to say. Do you like men or women? I'm bi, so we went over this earlier. It was like one of the first questions we went over at the top of the stream. Imagine being so delusional you think you can be a different gender than you were born as. The Marxist left has made a fool out of you. The Marxist left has nothing to do with the decades, in fact, over a century of science that has gone into researching trans people and our experiences. You're just a propagandized moron that believes everything you're told by Fox News or Stephen Crowder or whatever degenerate fucking right wing news source that you follow religiously to get all your information from. Damn it. I had this whole thing and I'm having trouble finding it now actually. Damn. I'm gonna have to like get a whole document together, I think. Trans individuals cannot volunteer for service, but I believe they could still be drafted. I don't know. I genuinely do not know. With the way the EO was written, um, it's unclear. Hmm. Mm. Nice parrot blanket, dog. Thanks. It is nice, isn't it? It's a nice backdrop. Oh man, Man Torch, you're falling for their ruse, you see? If you get, like, impassioned about it, then they win. Like, I have a very specific policy as to how I respond to the many and varied personalities of retards that come in here and try to tell me shit about what I already know, and that is to use them for content fodder and to let their fucking stupid bullshit slip right off my back like water off a duck. Nah, God is on my side. They need to hear that shit. I agree. I actually agree. You know what? I agree. I can't blame you. They do need to be pushed back against. But no, I think that's it. That's good. Yeah. They need to be pushed back against. And honestly, I think that there is something to be said about the there's something to be said about the like the interaction between people who are just trying to get a rise out of people and those who are actually trying to participate in the conversation meaningfully. But even if you are being goaded into a passionate defense of trans rights or passionate defense of civil rights in general, it's probably for the best that people are reading those arguments. You know, good, bad, right, or wrong for the motivating factors. Would 3 a.m. be considered super early or super late? Well, that entirely depends on your perspective. Are you going to bed or are you waking up? Nice outfit, like a mix of 80s biker and a Berenstein Bear grandma eating porridge. Yeah, exactly. It's like a Berenstein Bear meets like 70s punk biker or something. Like a punk rocker or something. I don't know. It's good. It works. Works for me. That is true. If you are like so appalled by my presence on the internet that you want to see me gone from it, or you want to see me deleted or blocked or fucking, you know, killed even, because there's people that have said shit about like that about me. If you are that weak minded, then you are not about free speech. You cannot claim to be about free speech, and you shouldn't even try. You are an opponent of free speech. Even if you disagree with the things I have to say, at the end of the day, if you are an advocate of free speech, you have to be okay with my right to sit on here and talk my shit. I'm not calling for any violence. I'm not calling for anything illegal, you know? Under what grounds do you condemn my speech? And under what guise should I recognize their legitimacy? I agree, as long as you don't get others shut down. I don't. And I don't run my chat's not run as that tight a ship either. We block spammers out of here pretty regularly, and people that are just being repetitious, saying shit that just gets said a million times a day. If somebody's like blatantly violating the YouTube TOS or something, that usually will also get deleted out of here. Um, but in general, we allow people to be a lot more hateful and forward than a lot of other chats on this platform do. And I've never engaged in like a deplatforming campaign for any other creator, nor would I. Say what you want, who cares what others cry about it? No, yeah, I don't care when people are upset about it. I like when people are upset by it. I like when people want to argue about it and disagree with me. I like that. What I don't like is when people are like threatening me or talking about like wanting to get the channel banned or wishing that I wasn't allowed on the internet or whatever. That kind of shit. It doesn't really like get to me, but it bothers me in principle because it's like, what a fucking betrayal of the free speech principles upon which this country was founded and upon which most of the free world operates these days. Were you in English honors? Actually, yes. Yes, actually. America wasn't founded on free speech. I mean, it kind of was. It just took a while for it to become like enforced as the standard. But it was in our Constitution from the very beginning, and the current free speech protections that we have these days are based on um, like arguments that were predicated on that First Amendment, right? So it's something that took a while to be realized, but I agree, it wasn't there at present. Like, um, a lot of what it assured was that if you ran a newspaper, you weren't going to get arrested for printing the wrong thing. But even then, that kind of like didn't. I mean, there's been times when that's been interfered with. Everything that America was founded upon, everything that every country is founded upon, is an aspiration, in my opinion. We have not yet managed to codify a human society that is able or has been able to live up to the full virtue of its founding principles inerrantly throughout its history. I can see the honors energy on you. I see it in the mirror every day. The complete disinterest in English anymore, the piece of your soul they stole. What now? That's definitely not how I feel about it. I feel like my English teacher was foundational in my life. I'll tell you this much. I don't think I would be as capable of doing what I do for a living now if it hadn't been for the honors English classes that I'd taken. I'm so confused. If you don't like this person, why are you watching their live feed? Why are you still there? Because they desperately need that little burst of energy that they'll get from that shot of dopamine and adrenaline whenever I read their comment and respond to their hateful bullshit and dress them down. They love that shit. It's basically a humiliation fetish being entertained online. Damn, I really need a drink. I'm gonna go get me one. Oh. Oh. Alrighty. We're back. I'm not Jewish, so I have no feelings about the daughter personally. Yeah, me neither. Honestly, at this point, I've read most of the Bible. Um, read the Tao Te Ching. I've read the Quran. And at this point, I don't feel like I'm actually going to learn that much more from entertaining myself with any other, like, religion's holy text. I don't think I'm going to come across any truth in any of those texts that I could read that I haven't read yet, that I haven't come across in any of the ones that I've already perused. Oh, you're not a girl, by the way. Luckily for me, you don't get to determine that. That's actually a determination to be made between me, my doctors, the people involved in my care, not random retards on the internet that think they know more than the collective knowledge of scientists and medical understanding. Who are you calling chicken head? Oh, there's a user in chat named Chickenhead. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, Patio Hooligan. Why is he asking me if I can get pregnant? Is he trying to make an attempt? Church helped me too, but using church as a source of all happiness will put you in that dark place just as well. Yeah, like attempting to rely too heavily and solely on any one place for your happiness is always doomed to fail. And this is something, it's usually advice you hear given about relationships. People will say, don't derive all your happiness from your partner, because what if your partner turns out to not be that good a partner for you? Or something like that, right? Like, what if there's some problem in your relationship and then you're miserable in the aftermath because you didn't have any other things from which you derived happiness. And it is good advice when applied to that situation as well. But it's really good advice in general. You should, like think of the old, what would you call it? Like fable, I guess. No, it's not a fable. It's like a saying, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. You can also take that as life advice to mean don't get all of your happiness from one source. Um, diversify your sources of happiness. Have like a few different hobbies. And, at that point, you can lose one of them and it's not that big a deal. And you'll even be more apt to replace it with something else if you're already in the position of having multiple different things that you have an interest in and that you enjoy doing and that you derive hobby or that you derive happiness from, whether that's hobbies, relationships, friendships, a combination of the three, doesn't matter. Just do shit, be happy. Happiness, true sustainable happiness, is a state of mind, not something you get from a person, place, or thing. It's a perspective practiced upon every day. No, it's part of it's perspective, but part of it's actually like the things that you do, and it's It's a state of mind that, in my opinion, is derived from practices that um, you can choose to participate in or not, right? And like, there's a bunch of different ways that a person can derive happiness. But if you are in an utterly miserable situation, and I can think of a few, it might be rather hard for you to come up with a reason to be happy. But most people have some kind of ability to, like, make something that they can be happy about in their lives. Oh, I often feel like the internet is simultaneously the best and worst thing to happen to us socially. We got a lot dumber the smarter our phones got, along for a time that no longer exists. A lot of people are in your position, but just keep in mind, listen, things were not all that much better in the before times. Economic access was a little bit better for the average American, maybe. Um, your prospects were a little bit better, but there's plenty of people that thought they were on the up and up and were doing great in the early 2000s and the 90s that are not doing great now. And there's lots of people that didn't think they were doing too great in those eras that are doing fine now. So, you know, um, I don't think the general trend has been towards improvement or like, I think that's one of the worrying things and why we're starting to see maybe a downturn in like civilization's ability to keep itself up and to perpetuate itself is we've kind of flatlined for a while. We've kind of plateaued for a long time. You know, people's quality of life kind of in general like seem to kind of be going up, and people's access to shit seem to be going up, and at this point it's kind of flatlined. There have been a few advances and a few things that have come down in price to make them more affordable. Most people can afford, for example, to have a flat screen TV in their house nowadays, but on the other hand, cars have gotten more expensive, houses have gotten more expensive, housing in general, whether that's rent or mortgage payments, has gotten more expensive. And along with it, just general cost of living and a ton of other things. And at this point, people are like living functionally very similar lives in a lot of ways to the lives that they were living in the early 2000s. They're just getting, like, life just looks a little different. That's true for me, though. It's more culture and how we treat each other since the jump from MP3s and DVDs to social media and social media standing. But yes, you were spot on with the eco stuff. Yeah. As far as socially, yes, you are spot on as far as socially. I think the social situation was a lot better when it was a lot more difficult for people to have an excuse or even a like network by which they could possibly stay inside all the time or avoid outside socialization, yada yada yada. That is a fresh hell, and it's something that is pretty much solely attributable to the rise of the smartphone and the dominance of social media. There was a time in American history when you pretty much had to talk to people to find out what was going on, to keep up with the people in your family and stuff like that. And in some ways, it's better that you don't have to, because a lot of people have sucky families, and it sucked out to deal with those people, yada yada yada. But in other ways, I think it's kind of like hampered our ability to meaningfully organize and to like enjoy our lives in some cases, because it can be hard to like see a purpose to all the shit that you do if you have this like vacant feeling at the core of you that there's something missing, but you can't quite place your finger on it. And that's another thing that's been kind of a product of the domination of the smartphone and social media and everything else. And I know that I make my living off social media. It might be kind of hypocritical, but I like to think that this is a bit more productive way to spend your time than, scrolling AI fucking fabricated dopamine looping bullshit. And um, we have kind of created a paradigm that is self-sustaining, in that social media makes you feel like you are engaging in a much more direct and open form of socialization than you actually are. Like, I would say I'm getting higher quality socialization than you guys are because I am like using my voice and you guys can actually see me and my body language is part of it and everything. And there's like a dialogue to be had here, and you guys can criticize that, and I can have feedback that I can't give on all of you, right? I can't give each and every one of you guys feedback, and you guys aren't going to give each other feedback the way you're going to me. So I'm getting a higher quality of socialization than you could ever get as a chatter in one of these streams. But like for the most part, the arguments that we have on Reddit and Facebook and shit like that, the menial time that we spend scrolling shorts and TikTok, and I do this kind of thing too. I'm not excluding myself. Uh, this type of thing is able to create the illusion of active socialization. And that's one of the most insidious things about it, in my opinion, is that it can create in a person the appearance that they're doing something very social and active and all that, right? They're like really fucking participating in the world at large. And in a lot of cases, you're really not. Oh, shit. Oh, Taylor, I don't know if you saw this, but the other day I did a daytime stream and my mom was on. And I know you always love listening to her talk shit and shoot the shit, so definitely check out that stream. Oh, how fun. Were they nice to her? Um, not really. No. I mean, they were nicer to her than they're normally to me. Yeah, I mean, they were nicer to her than they were to me, but your mom was adorable. Bring her back. Oh, she'll definitely be on more streams in the future. She had a really good time doing it. I had a really good time doing it. And we were able to keep up a good conversation for 2 hours straight. It matters not. She could decimate anyone she wanted to. Yeah, and she did. She has a few fucking good burn moments in that stream. I wish I was there. Next time you go live with her, could you message me so I can be sure I see it? Never got notice. I will. I will do so. Sorry, I just got distracted for a second because I like looked up a song. I don't want to give you guys the fucking guitar goal for free though. Do you ever read? Me? I know, but I want to talk to my other mother. I love that woman. That woman loves me. We love each other. Yes, I know. You guys definitely do. Y'all are cool. And she is a really awesome person. I can't even lie. Yeah. Well, I don't like these days I often don't like read like a physical book, but I will listen to audiobooks these days very often. I've taken to listening to audiobooks as my chief source of like entertainment as I'm doing stuff and just kind of sitting around instead of watching like YouTubers and influencers and shit. I do still consume a little bit of that content. I'll watch some tasting history when I'm eating. I'll watch so I'll watch tasting history when I'm eating, and when I'm like eating like a late night snack before I go to bed, if I have something like that, or just as I'm relaxing before I go to bed, I'll watch some Annie Austin, and usually in the morning, as I'm waking up, I'll watch between 20 to 30 minutes of Vosh and Kyle Kalinske, and sometimes other political creators if I see something interesting that I want to check out that I don't see on one of their channels. Um, but at this point, my like collective daily intake of like YouTuber type content is probably like an hour and a half to 2 hours at best. Whereas it used to be like my main source of entertainment through the day. I've replaced that with audiobooks. And right now I am reading slash listening to God is Not Great by Christopher Hitchens. Looks like we got ourselves a reader. Like a Bill Hicks bit, classic. Wondering if you've heard of Abundance. It talks about cost of belongings versus housing, like you mentioned earlier. No, haven't heard of it. I hate audiobooks. I don't know. They piss me off. I can't explain it. I fucking love audiobooks. If it's read by somebody whose voice I like and that matches the book. For example, the audiobook of Christopher Hitchens I'm listening to is literally read by Hitchens himself. And Hitchens had a lovely voice, wonderful voice. He was really enjoyable to listen to talk. So it's like listening to an 8 hour long Hitchens speech, basically, which is dope, which is so cool. Honestly, I've been consuming a lot of Caleb Hammer. It's not good for me. Oh shit, yeah. Well, I can't blame you. Everybody's got to go through their phase. There was a time when I was like literally like religiously watching all kinds of political content creators, like, and like paying way closer attention. And it was a necessary step in my evolution, and I'm sure I'll be back there again at some point. I cannot wait to go up to Missouri in June, dude. I cannot wait. Oh man, I can't wait. Caleb Hammer, you could never make me form a solid opinion on you. What? Wait, what now? On who? On Caleb? Abundance is by Ezra Klein, though you may not like him if you watch Vosh. I don't have Vosh's opinions just because I watch Vosh. I don't know enough about Ezra Klein to know if I like him or hate him, and I don't know. I feel like Vosh is incredibly hyperbolic when he talks about basically anything. So I heard Vosh say that Ezra Klein said something reasonably intelligent the other day, which makes me think that if even Vosh is recognizing he said something reasonably intelligent, he must be a guy that probably says halfway reasonable stuff most of the time that has some aspect of disagreement with them, is what I would assume. Ezra's a turbo lib. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. That doesn't mean he doesn't have anything good to say on this, that, or the other thing. A motherfucker can make really good points even if they have like political positions that you don't necessarily support. That's something that you should consider when you're reading their work and when you're considering what they have to say. But like Christopher Hitchens, for example, pro-Iraq war, pro-war with Iran before war with Iran was even really being seriously considered, all the way back in 2007, repeating some of the warmongering kind of claims that were being made by Benjamin Netanyahu and other people like that at the time. The nuclear shit and all that, right? But he is also one of the most potent and skilled critics of religion out there. So, I read his book with a critical mind, and I recognize when some of the things he says are being more informed by a baseline knee jerk reaction to anything tied to theocracy or religion, and when it's like a um, good, decent, standalone criticism of religion as it exists, or historically. Based Phoebe, thank you, thank you. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. How badly out of tune is this son bitch? Feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. Can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I think it would sound even better if I did it lower, though. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting on this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord. King Bugs with the $10, making this fucking harebrained attempt to play Can You Feel It Coming somewhat worth it. Thank you, King Bugs. Let me think here. Let's see. I can feel it. Why am I fucking up so bad? I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. Can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. If you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Ow! Why is that hurting my hand so bad? And why is this so fucking fast? I've seen your face before, my friend, and I don't know if you know who I am, but I was there. Dude, I think if I listened to that song a few more times, I could actually be able to play it. Just in Time, love that song by Collins. Well, I'm still in the process of learning it, but yeah, I got the chorus down. I can hear it coming in the air. Oh Lord, I'm waiting for this moment for all my life. Trying to figure out what key it sounds best in for my voice. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting on this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh yeah, oh Lord. I'll have to fuck around with it a little bit, but eventually I'll figure out a cover that sounds good. Thank you for the gifted memberships and the $10, King Bugs. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Boo! It skipped me, the true Phoebe fan, the longest Phoebe fan, the most ingrained Phoebe fan. Taylor, could I ever get you to come to a meetup? I'll raise the money for you guys' ticket. Like, if you and your boyfriend both want to come, I'll fucking raise the money here on the channel to buy your tickets. I don't give a fuck. Phoebe, I can't even leave the house, buddy. Okay, well, fair enough. Ah! Oh, how the turned tables. Dude, back when we were all living together, you were the one who had to convince me to do anything social. And these days, I'm just like super outwardly social, and you're like, nah, I've had my time. I haven't left the house since February. Like, at all? Like, even outside, like in the like yard? I've went in the yard. Oh, well, at least you're going outside a little bit. That is suck. That I mean, it's just, you know, damn. That's fucked. Don't y'all be fucking proselytizing to Taylor about what she needs to do. She'll, you know, recover on her own schedule. I don't find that pushing people helps a ton. Not unless you're like a therapist or something. I guess there's probably a clinically accepted way to push. Push. I haven't left my town in over a year, but I stopped being able to drive in December, and then shortly after it was hard to at all. That makes sense. Damn. I don't know what to say. Because, you know, I don't know, like, when we were all living together, I couldn't imagine you living that way. But on the other hand, I also don't want to be like your doctor. I don't want to like be putting myself in that position because that's not, you know, that, that's not my gig, you know. Um, and I can't imagine it's necessarily fun, but it also doesn't feel like it's my place to talk you out of it, you know. So I'm just kind of like left with fighting with myself over my response. It always made me anxious at times. I just pretended better then. In December, I lost my job and got very sick. Oof. Yeah, that's valid. That could put a big fucking huge speed bump in things. I can see why that would be a precipitating factor for sure. Phoebe, have you talked about the China thing? No, I don't think I have talked about the China thing. Or I think I might have mentioned it in passing. Yeah, there was a Chinese spy basically serving as mayor in Arcadia, California, and she's been like I don't remember if she was arrested, but she was like ordered to turn in all of her documents and stuff like that, ordered to cut off any and all communication to anyone tied to the Chinese government, and she resigned from her position and everything. Crazy, crazy thing, and it was all fucking discovered and found out on a Monday afternoon. You know, like Friday, nobody knew there was a Chinese spy serving as the mayor. Monday, everybody knew there was a Chinese spy serving as the mayor. And I know it sounds xenophobic. It does. It sounds like xenophobic as fuck, but it's not. It's not conspiracy. It's not xenophobia. It's genuinely like I don't know, the decay of our democracy. I guess we're being taken over from within by Chinese agents. Maybe it's for the best. At least if they take over this way, there's no bloodshed, right? I didn't say xenophobia. I said sinophobia, which is like anti-Chinese hatred. Organizations lay the groundwork for these things to sound taboo to say. That is true. That is very true. Have you been to Cali? Yes, I've been to California. King Bugs with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Look at that. Thank you. YouTube, check out the #1 hyped vid on YouTube. It's bro from the local music scene. #1 hyped. Alright. Alright, that's pretty fucking dope. How did somebody... Man, this dude looks so familiar. Man, this dude looks so familiar. Why does this guy look so familiar? Why does this guy look so familiar? Why does this guy look so familiar? You know, there's a very, like, okay, how long has that guy been involved in the music scene? Because based on the age of his oldest video, there's a very good chance me and Colin might have played a show with that dude. That's cool, dude. That's so fucking cool. I knew that dude looked familiar and I knew it sounded dope. Ah, that's so fucking cool. Good for him. Good for him. That's awesome. He kind of fell out a bit, but he came back, he signed and stuff. That's so fucking dope. That's awesome. I love that. That's so cool. Life is so neat, man. I'm so glad that there's a local musician that I've got some familiarity with that's actually getting big and, making it big and doing good. That's awesome. Are you trans? Yes, I am. I've never known a semi-famous person before, so it's really exciting for everyone. Yeah, no. That's gotta be dope. That's gotta be fucking awesome. That's really cool. I was just thinking about something. I was just thinking, I was like, I wonder how I would be received if I were to, probably not this time when I'm coming up in June, because I'm only coming up for a few days. But if I were to schedule a trip to Missouri and stay up in that area, I wonder how I would be received. And then it occurred to me, are any of the old spots where I would hang out with people even around anymore? Like that bar we used to go to, I know got closed down. I don't remember the name of one of the bars we played at. We made it on TMZ the other day because of a murder. That's fucking crazy. In that little small town, I mean, yeah, makes sense. There's a bar and grill now. Like a guy rolling with a Sony label. We just met at the bar together. Life is so silly. I know. That's so fucking dope. That's awesome. That's big. Putting old, where on the map. There's a bar and grill now. Do any of the cool people hang out at it? You know who's a motherfucker I ain't heard from in forever? Taylor. Guy shot his grandma and his cousin is apparently on the show Summer House. What? That's fucking insane. I've never been there. It's always packed. Well, I'm sure there's some cool people there then. That is wild. That is insane. I would love to sing one of my favorite songs from the local music scene, but it would dox you. I don't know what he's up to. Got married, but that's all I've seen really. To Kayla, right? Because last I heard, they had like a kid together and they were getting married and stuff. Yeah? Okay, well, good. These da streets, they've always been so good to me. It's the birds and cops and the people and cops that just won't let me be. The windows we look inside, where the crooks and drunkies hide. And one day we hoping they might wise up and close their fucking blinds. Car crash personified. Yeah, yeah. That's fine. That's fine though. I love it. Dude, I wouldn't trade getting to live in that town for the world. I met some of the coolest and most awesome characters I think I'll ever meet. I genuinely I I I just hope that my kid gets some approximation of that and that kind of thing is still present enough and stuff. I just man, that was so cool. I got to meet so many cool fucking people and weird characters and personalities and shit. My grandpa never left my small hometown in upstate New York, and he lived to 83. He grew up on in a tent with wooden planks for the floor. That's fucking nuts. Yeah, I mean, there are people who are just really content in the small town they live in, the place they grew up, and they don't ever want to leave it. I personally am not one of those people. I grew up, for like the first 14 years of my life in Mississippi. Then my parents divorced and I moved up to Missouri. And I think that process kind of broke any hope that I would have, grown up and settled down in my little small town or anything. But I think I probably always would have wondered because even when I was a kid, before my parents got divorced, I constantly wished I could go places and wished I could get out and travel and do all the things that I later ended up doing. So I think I would have ended up doing that regardless, but you know, I've just never been satisfied being like super tied down to one place. I think there is always going to be something in me that wants to wander. I kind of envy that, Taylor. I kind of envy having that kind of connection to a place you live. I really do, because I'll never have it. I will never have it. Just flat out, never will. I can't relate to either of the places that I grew up in, really. Not fully. There's aspects of myself I can relate to it, but I can't say I bleed G Town or fucking, you know, P Town or anything else. We aren't the average. No, that's true. I live in Portland now, so yeah, I'm not one of those people either. I hitched back and forth across the contiguous, and that broke me free from the hometown pull. I think pretty much traveling in my minivan is what broke me free from any of that I might have had. I mean, if I hadn't started traveling, if I'd somehow managed to find myself perfectly happy and fine with Missouri as it was, and I just stayed in a little town that I lived in up there, I guess there's a chance, maybe, but I don't. I just don't think. I don't think there's any direction in my life that didn't eventually feature me figuring out some way to travel the U.S. And I think that that would have effectively killed any kind of pull that I had for one specific talent or any kind of feeling of ingratiation to it. My dislike for the city makes it less compelling. Got all I need. Well, I just the thing here's that's fair. The city is not what I would want to drag you out to see anyway, Taylor. The thing that I worry about you missing out on, and I'm not your mother, I'm not your life coach or anything else. It's not up to me to tell you what you do with your life. But the thing that I, you know, feel a little bad that you might miss out on is like the indescribable beauty of looking out of your motel room on the second story and seeing the Sangre de Cristo Mountains of the Rockies sprawled out before you. Looking to the west, seeing the painted desert's edges clawing at the horizon. Or the beautiful pebbly beaches of the East Coast with their undulating waves and the foreboding but somehow comforting sigh of the clouds, the thunderheads of the ocean, King Bugs with another gifted 5 memberships. I appreciate it. The cognitive dissonance of being a leftist in Texas can be annoying. Oh yeah, no, I imagine, I imagine it can kind of like make things a little difficult for sure. Thank you, King Bugs, for the gifted memberships. I appreciate that. If you were going to compel me anywhere, it would be to the Redwoods. The Redwoods are a perfect example of something I'd love to fucking compel you to go see. You know? Yes, exactly. The California Redwoods. I mean, just imagine that. Looking up at one of those, seeing that, being there, feeling. I mean, the weather is so weird in Cali. When you're up in the mountains and you're in somewhere that's shady and has a little bit of fucking breeze to it or anything like that, especially if you're on the coast seeing the coastal redwoods, the weather's always going to be nice, even if it's the middle of summer. The plant life, the big, massive, just indescribably beautiful trees. The great valleys and mountains of the Rockies, the little streams and trickling rivers that make up the basis of our water system. Even the Great Plains. You live on the edge of the Great Plains, but I don't know if you fully appreciate how fucking profoundly beautiful the Great Plains are when you get towards Kansas and Colorado and New Mexico. Because there's just something about that. It's breathtaking and disarming. Hoping this therapist will be the one. I really hope so too, Taylor, because I would love for you to be able to get out there and go see more things. I would never try and get you to like go to the city unless it was to attempt to get you to go to a fucking DFF meetup, maybe. Um, but as far as like seeing natural things, I mean, I just I remember the way that we used to spend our time, the kind of things that you used to be captivated in, and the conversations we'd have. I know we've got some common areas of appreciation when it comes to the stunning natural beauty of things that didn't intend to be beautiful. And I just hope that you are able at some point in your life to enjoy more of those things because there's so much out there just in our little country, just in this little section of the planet. There is just so much fucking beauty. Thank you, King Bugs, for the gifted memberships. I don't know if I said that. The Sea of Gold, yes. I can smell BO and weed anywhere. I don't need the DFF meetup. Hey! Shut up. That's mean. That's bigotry. That's neckbeard disenfranchisement. Well, you know what? You're out of the fucking like phase of your life where you would be all that entertained or compelled by the fucking events at a meetup anyway, I guess. So that's fair enough. But I just think it would be cool if I could like, have some of the audience members that are regulars that I think will probably end up coming anyway. Like if we could all hang out together, have like the you know the Phoebe after party, the My Channel after party. But uh now that I think about it, you're not really like into that kind of shit anymore. Like the partying aspect is not something that would compel you at this point, which is fine. I become very easily overstimulated by noise, but again, maybe the therapist can help with that. LOL. Yeah, true. You never know. But I'm not gonna pressure you or pry or anything. Japan is my dream. Japan would be cool, pretty cool to visit, I think. I don't think it'd be cool to live there as a Westerner, but I think it'd be cool to visit. I don't know if Japan is my dream destination though. I'm gonna go use the bathroom and I'll think about it. Oh God. Okay. She got my back. She'll follow me down every street, no matter what my crime. Ba-dum bum dun 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 dun. 上を向いて歩こう。滲んだ星を数えて思い出す夏の日。一人ぼっちの夜。上を向いて歩こう。ラララララララララララ。Give me some raw salmon right now. How's it? Oh! Yes! I too love sushi. Yes. A little bit of soy sauce on that bitch. I hope to retire in the Pacific. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going to end up retiring if indeed I do such a thing. I have no fucking clue. Part of me feels tied to this land in a weird way, but another part of me doesn't, and I just don't know how to feel about it. The idea of impermanence fucks with me, so I try not to think about it too much, but I do think about the fact that, like, eventually somebody else will live here, and that's true of anywhere I live, so I don't need to think about it too much, but I think about, like, what happens if I make something that isn't compatible with, I don't know, man. I'm just fucking, ah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, frankly. I mean, I do. I know what I have to do. But, like, long term, I don't know what to do. Because, on the one hand, I do think people should fight rather than flee. And I do like the food that's available down here in Mississippi. And I like having proximity to the Gulf and being kind of in the middle of the country that's, kind of in like a place that's not exactly easy to find on a map or whatever. Not like super overly populated with people and shit. There's things that I like about it, but there's lots of things I don't. And I don't know if things will stay safe enough long enough for trans people for me to be okay and safe and happy down here. And what if I waste fucking 20 years of my life building up shit and making it great and then things just become untenable? Or they don't change in the way that I thought that they were going to. And it's just like, man, I do not want to put my life and the life of my kid on the fucking same track as, well, as these yokels, frankly. If they were a better breed of yokel, I wouldn't care. You won't find a Philly roll in Japan. That's not sushi. What now? That's not sushi to the Japanese. Well, I do love a Philly roll. You caught me. But I love salmon in general. Salmon? Did I just say salmon? Ooh, dude. Paul is live. Paul just went live. Let's see what Paul's doing. I'm compelled. Let's see. Unbelievable. What's unbelievable?
What are you doing still up, Phoebe? What up, King Bugs? Long time no see, my friend.
Go over to @thepoltergeist and say Phoebe raid.
What's so unbelievable? How late you're up. Way too late. You're streaming. This late?
Go over to @thepoltergeist and say Phoebe raid. Do it. Flying monkeys, I'm commanding you.
I haven't been doing these ideologies very often recently.
Found out it's quite illegal for me to mail bourbon to you like I hoped. Oh, that's lame. That's lame. I'm sorry. Go to this user's channel and type Phoebe raid. We're gonna give him some love. We love Paul. We love Paul. We love the poltergeist. I've got it ready and typed out in the chat. I really hoped I'd be able to. I hoped you would too. Honestly, it sounded really delicious. It sounded awesome.
Did I end up picking out the suit? Did I end up picking out the suit?
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Taylor. I love you. Thank you. Dude, now my shit's not loading. Now my shit's... Damn it. Why is my shit not working? It's not working.
We fine. Are we alive? Can you see me?
The internet. Okay. I thought it was me. I thought it was me.
Fine now. Jesus. We are living. Good. Yeah. Big old lag spike or some shit. Hello. So, I'm super into depositions. So I like watching people be pressed on their bullshit or defend themselves against the pressing.
Let's see what he's talking about.
I ran across this content, and I'm usually like gonna be the last dude to watch this type of shit. But there's this predator poachers dude. It's like this big fucking corn-fed white dude, and he goes and hunt, like they catfish predator dudes, and then go meet them at their house, confront them. But it's less about getting them arrested right away, and it's more about making them think that they have an avenue to not getting arrested through talking to this dude. So they always ask the guy, like, you a fucking cop or what? The guy can tell them straight out. He's like, no, I'm just a private citizen. I got no gun. I got no badge. And it is shocking to me how much that these dudes will reveal to this guy. Yeah, no, it's shocking to me. I mean, they will, and he has every incentive to keep them talking because he's filming it all, and it's all basically just like admission of guilt, right? Like he's not. He makes sure he doesn't press them into talking. He just tells them like, you can leave anytime you want. Like, you can go back in your house.
This guest is better than your last.
But these dudes will sit. Yeah, he always reports it to the cops in the end, and it leads. Yes. Well, I don't know about prosecutions. It leads to arrests. Chud the clavicular? Or don't know, dude. What a combo. No, not Gideon.
Anyway, that was cool. That was neat. Thank you guys for going over to the Poltergeist channel and showing him some love. Thank you, King Bugs, for another $10. I appreciate that a ton. Now that the internet's working again, I'm going to close my door because it's getting cold. Oh. Thought I had another Tums in here, but maybe I don't. Tums, 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 Tums. Joey, you are my favorite token conservative. I mean, he's my favorite fucking conservative participant in the chats because he's the most reliable one. And I think he's got the most interesting takes, plus the most, like, level-headed, actually reflective of the real MAGA base. You know, there's a lot of people that try to argue with me in here that are obviously just representatives of some particular narrative idea that they want to bolster through their interpretation of the conservative movement. But Joey's a guy who's like got a comprehensive political ideology that happens to align with the MAGA movement. I don't think it's one we agree with on a whole lot, but it's one that he can argue with complexity and shit, which is not something you can say about a lot of people, left or right, frankly. Oh, I'm actually rather conservative in a lot of ways. Well, like what? I don't know. You've never came off that way to me. I mean, you've never come off like incredibly conservative. Maybe I could think of something if I really thought about it. When people meet me, they assume I am nice. Nice, nice. When I'm not 4 drinks and a cigar deep, yeah. Well, I thought you were perfectly fine, even in your condition. I thought it was fun. I have fun. Bum 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 bum. 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 Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. There must be some kind of way out of here, said the drunkard to the thief. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drink my wine. Come and dig my earth. I had a headache. Oh, where are the legs with which you run, Haru, Haru? Oh, where are the legs with which you run, Haru, Haru? Oh, where are the legs with which you run when first you went to carry a gun? Oh, Johnny, your dancing days are done. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, hurroo, hurroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, hurroo, hurroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, you're an armless, legless, chickenless egg, and you'll have to be put with a bull out to beg, and Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Well, I'm happy for to have you home, hurroo, hurroo. I'm happy for to have you home, hurroo, hurroo. I'm happy for to have you home, all from the island of Ceylon. So low in flesh, so high in bone, and Johnny, I hardly knew ya. I don't know, Phoebe. Paul got some interesting chatter over there. Maybe I'll switch to Paulisms. You fucking traitor. Utter traitor. No, I mean, there's definitely two different experiences to be offered. That's for fucking sure. Paul does talk about some really interesting stuff, and I'm never displeased to hear somebody takes me up on my recommendation of him. Oh, we totally forgot to add the no fault divorce topic was kind of a shotgun spread of topics. Yeah, I mean, I figured it would be. No fault divorce. I will try to remember that as a topic to bring up the next time I have you on for an appearance. Don't criticize Paul, that'll earn you a quick ban. I mean, yeah, he is definitely more sensitive about criticism than I am. No, I don't think sensitive is the right word, but he's more dismissive of it, maybe. Dude, can I tell you guys about my plight? And can I just tell you guys about my plight real quick? So I bought some frozen popcorn chicken to make basically some homemade boneless chicken wings because I've been desperately craving something with a little bit of fucking heat to it and just like the feeling of eating some boneless chicken wings. Okay, I bought them and I've had them for days, and they've been in the freezer, and I haven't touched them because whenever I'm hungry for chicken wings, it's either too late or too like right now, I want them. I want to make some, but I can't because it's so fucking late at night that I would wake somebody up with whatever method I chose to use to make them. Almost certainly. And like if I wake up tomorrow at like 3:30 in the fucking afternoon, that's gonna be like too late to do it too. God damn it. I have to wake up earlier tomorrow so I can actually enjoy my goddamn things. In reality, I'll stick to my podcast. I get burned over my involvement in a TikTok community. That's valid. That's totally valid. But I mean, hey, you still participated in here, and I don't think your involvement in this community is gonna burn you. Okay, I'm back again from Paul. Nice, nice. What are they talking about over there? Are they still talking about those the Predator Watch people or whatever? I'm torn between Phoebe and Paul. I know it's the great It's the great tear. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Actually, I decided I want to enjoy this last bowl with myself and just me. And I don't normally do that to you guys. Normally, I let you guys pretty much have the last of my, you know, energy. But, um, I think I'll take one more hit of this thing and maybe one more puff of the bowl, and then I'll get out of here. Well, I didn't think my involvement in satire would lead to that either, so. Well, hey, that's fair enough. I wish I had the ability to be a creator or even work for one, but that's a hard job to get. Yeah, it definitely is. Not impossible though. I mean, if you apply your skills and keep trying at it, then eventually you can get gigs in it. Like for example, I'm a YouTube creator that pays all my bills off of this, and all I do is sit and talk to the live chat and have conversations. And there's some social media back end stuff that I have to do, and of course, the workload is increasing as I start to put out more stuff, which hopefully will be forthcoming within the next month. But um, it seems like in a lot of cases it's just a matter of like a combination of luck, finding a niche, and persistence. And persistence is easy enough, but finding a niche and getting the luck of being selected by somebody to be an editor or to be a social media manager or whatever, or being selected by the algorithm to be a successful content creator, that can take years sometimes. Take your glasses off before you talk? Huh? What the fuck kind of bullshit is that? I agree. What the fuck does that mean? We need our glasses to see. Hope that helps. Yeah, literally. Wait, is the idea here that my glasses make me look too authoritative and intelligent, so I have to take them off before I talk? That's fucking hilarious. Bro, Joey was fucking yesterday's guest. Why are you still fucking in here blathering about it? I choose how long guests get to be on my channel for. Have a problem with it? Go somewhere else. I ain't got you chained to the radiator. Maybe uncomfortable? Maybe you shouldn't watch then. What did he say that has this person so perturbed? I'm guessing me and Joey's like conversation about policy towards Israel. If I had to assume, the Zionist lobby is trying very hard to get the average person to associate any criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism. It is an incredibly useful rhetorical tool for them when people have that mistaken assumption. Israel is not the Jewish people. Criticism of Israel, shit talk about Israel, is not anti-Semitism. You should be ashamed for thinking that that constitutes anti-Semitism. You should be ashamed for associating the Jewish people with the state of Israel. Anyway, think I'm gonna go ahead and get on off of here and hit the old dusty trail. Grind me up a little bit more weed. Maybe have me one more bowl before I hit the sack. And, yeah. Alrighty. Peace.